Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Gulfstream. Today, Ron Nicoletti along with Brian Nano. We're experiencing some light rain showers now, so, well, we have for a little while, so we're going to be off the turf this afternoon, so make sure you mark that down. I would think the main track will be faster. It's not raining that hard. The Peter, of course, all weather, always fast.
Yeah, we'll just work in progress and check it out. Any updated scratches and changes, we'll, of course, give them to you. Track announcer Pete Aiello will be up in a little bit as well.
Yeah, so we'll get everything straightened out as we go on. But today we have $100,000 gross jackpot guarantee in the Rainbow Six, which will start in race number 4 this afternoon with this 9-race card. And we have good weekend coming up. We've got a couple of stakes on Saturday. We drew that card yesterday. 12 races on Saturday. That is all the early stuff we wanted to tell you about. Let's get right into this Thursday card. First race is going to be about 5 furlongs on the all-weather to Peter Maiden Claiming Filly. 3-year-old, $16,000. Brian put a ticket together. Let's check it out.
I did. It starts off on my best bet of the day, and let's run 2, taking all the early money right now. In race 2, I go down inside. Man on the Moon has been in such good form. The run 2 back was really, really sharp. Race number 3, number 6, Toretto is going to be a strong favorite, but I'll also use Admiral Truffles. And then for a little bit of a spread, we go to number 5, Tag Her, my long shot play of the day on the stretch out. And in race 5, Equal Pay. It looks very, very tough for Chad Brown and Seth Klarman.
Yeah, in this first race, the number 4 right now, 3-2. I always thought was the one to beat in here. This one is turning back slightly. 2 with blinkers added after rallying along the inside to finish third against Similar. That was going 5.5 on the to Peter. It's Brian Lynch. You're getting leading jock Louis Sayers named to ride.
Yeah, this was my best bet of the day, and I think there's a lot of reason to like this horse. Brian, very solid first out, but, you don't figure the screws are that tight. I thought he ran a good third. The blinkers go on for more focus. Sayers sticks, and then you look at the rest of this field, and none of them have the upside of Let's Run, too. So I don't think it's a surprise that he's probably going to go off a pretty strong favorite.
Absolutely. The number 5, Sensational Grace, is expected to show more versus this level of competition after breaking slow. You're never really getting untracked in a 25 debut, going 5 panels on the all-weather surface. But it's David Forks. I'm going to show you a stat with him. What is the Peter run his sprints on all levels? Just over the past 6 months, he's the one we were talking about early on. He's 4 for 17, 24%. He's in the money 53% of the time, 282. And that's, like I said, since we've had the Peter here, we were calling him early on Mr. Tapita. He has done very well with his horses that he'd either gone from dirt to Tapita or started on the Tapita.
Yeah, right from the get-go, he's been so strong. This horse broke dead last on debut. Wasn't really bet, 8-9 to 1 that day. The runner-up came back to win. So I think you're allowed to expect better from Sensational Grace today, and I would think with an alert beginning, it'll be a lot closer early on, too.
Yeah, and the number 6, Dance for Gold, is dropping to the 16-level debut, and on the surface, we're talking about blinkers go on this afternoon, finish a distant 4th. That was up at Tampa on the main track for Elizabeth Elder. Paco Lopez handling the surface switch.
Yeah, the blinkers go on, too, and Paco, we know he's a forward rider, and I would think last time after chasing, he puts this one right in the game early.
Let's go to race number 2, and this is where first of 2 pick 4s will start on the afternoon. And this one is a mile on the main track. It's allowance, starter allowance, 4-year-olds and up. It started for 25 or less in here. No scratches in the race, and take it away with the number 1, Man on the Moon.
Well, I'm going to preface it with saying make sure you check out the main track, because I didn't really think he handled the sloppy going last time. It was against better, though, too. And he might have regressed off that such a big run 2 back. He runs an 80 that day. And I think if he can get back to that race, he's going to be tough. It remains to be seen, but I do think he's a major player in here from close range throughout.
I went with the number 6, Miss, who's stretching out to the mile for the first time after drawing clear to defeat those 12-5 state-bred optional claimers going 6 furlongs. And he got an 82 buyer for that effort. Saffy Joseph Jr. will show you a stat with him with the horses going sprint to route optional claiming level on the dirt. So I narrowed it down to optional claimers. He's 11 for 38, 29%, 66% in the money, 192, and that's over the past 3 years.
I love the post for this horse, and I love the stretch out as you showed there. I think it plays in here, and this horse has been in very good form. Comes in off a win, the only one in the field to be able to say that. I think that's a big deal. Now Saffy runs him, in another spot where he's not in for a tag against open company, and his overall body of work, he's 2 for 4, and he's been in the money all 4 starts here on the main track.
Embrace My Uncle, I think, scratched out of yesterday's card to
Yeah.
run today. I loved this horse yesterday in the spot he was in. But this one drops to the 25 starter allowance after responding to the surface switch from Tapeta to the dirt with that second place finish. Beaten ahead, that was in the slop against 40 starter allowance types from Mike DiPaolo. Javier Castellano, multiple win day yesterday, will be in the saddle.
Yeah, and I want to quickly just go back to Mish, too. If you look, it's 4 back. He's got a huge win in the slop, too.
Right.
That only helps him. Back to Embrace My Uncle, yes, in very, very good form. You mentioned the slop you were on last time. The Hall of Famer, Javier Castellano, has been in very, very good form. As you mentioned, doubled up yesterday. If you want to nitpick a little bit at a short price, he's 0 for 7 on the main track here with 5 second-place finishes.
Chucky is the other one from Saffy Jr. This one moves to his barn after the claim, steps up the competition, drew clear to defeat 8 open claimers at the distance. Arad Ortiz Jr., this half of the uncoupled entry. We know the story. If it's the longer price, you're getting Arad Ortiz Jr. I suggest use both of these somewhere on your ticket.
And I love the move here by Saffy. He claims this one for 8. There are claiming races for this horse. He says, no. I don't want to risk losing him. Let's run him in a starter.
Let's go to race number 3 this afternoon, about 5 1/2 furlongs on the Tapeta. Claimers 4 and up, non-winners of 2 in life, 20 down to 16. No scratches in this race. Brian, you started with the number 6 Toretto, I think was one of your singles?
No, not a single. I like him. I also used the 4 Admiral Truffles. He just, I don't know, Ron. He's going to be a short number. He drops in class. Excuse me, blinkers go on, and I do clearly think he's the horse to beat. I just didn't want to tie to him as a single because, I don't know, I don't fully trust him. He's lost 3 in a row without really threatening, and now the drop again. And, boy, just, 3 back, he's in a stakes race. So, I don't know, just tread a little lightly with him, and I think you're kind of picking up what I was putting down, right?
Yeah, I think so. And the number 2, Valhalla Air Base, goes to the Bobby DeBona barn after the claim, shipped down from Woodbine, finished that track and fade 5th. As the favorite at this level of distance, I think the new connections find a really good spot for this one to get a return on their investment. No one scares me in this race. Now, Bobby DeBona, if you look, he's only 7%, first up the claim,
Yeah.
but he's got a chance. He's one of those guys that can definitely score, when the horse is in the right spot.
Bobby knows what he's doing. There's no doubt about that. And, Luis Saez now gets aboard. And as you alluded to, this horse has got some solid Tapeta form up at Woodbine. Claimed this one off a little bit of a layoff, so maybe he's a little tighter today.
The number 4, as you mentioned, Admiral Truffles, who's on your early pick 5 ticket, steps up to face winners after drawing clear to defeat those maidens as the favorite by 5+ lengths for Kathy Mungian. Hector Berrios going for 2 in a row at this 5 1/2 furlong distance. So comes in off the win, finds a good spot to step up.
Yeah, and as you know, sometimes these lifetime maidens, when they finally break through, the light bulb goes on. Sometimes they pop right back, and he was really, really good last time. Yes, he steps up. Yes, he faces winners. Don't sleep on him, though, at a pretty decent price.
Take a short break. When we come back, we'll have my Rainbow 6 ticket.
And they're off. Second in the 2-path. Ground off first inside. Race. A quarter of a mile to go, and he's 6 yards out. Last of the 12 as they roll into the backstretch.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today, Ron and Brian, and you can see the skies have opened up a little bit more. Oh, yeah, skies have opened up a little bit more behind us, but we told you at the top, so make sure you handle for an off track today. No turf racing, but we got the all-weather Tapeta, and that's the beauty of it. Put a Rainbow 6 ticket together. Now, this comes with a little bit of a caveat. 4320 might have to do some re-handicapping now that we got the, maybe we're going to deal with a track with some moisture in it. main track. But this one was originally scheduled for the turf. The fourth will be running a mile and 70 yards. I went 3 deep. We'll talk about that. 2 deep, you mentioned Equal Pay. Looks like the one to beat in race 5. Race number 6, Face of Victory, and Doo-Wop Don. You wanted to show a replay of that horse. Race number 7 is going to be off the turf today, so I'll be running 5 on the Tapeta. I went a couple deep in there. And then race number 8, I got some coverage with Stella Ride, Doll Baby, and Frosty Brew, which is 1, 3, and 5. I like the chances of Hard Rock Warrior, Daughter of Heart Sponge, stretching out on the turf. That's not going to happen this afternoon. 43-20 for me. We'll see how it plays out. And you're going back to this 4th race. Now moves from 7.5 on the turf, which is 2 turns, to the mile 70 yards. This is optional claiming fillies, 3-year-olds, $50,000. Scratch the 7, which was, I think, both our top picks on the turf. Julian Leperoux will ride the number 8. I went with the 9 in here. Luna Antonio goes to Terry Pompey's barn after the claim. Followed a pair of late-running third-place finishes on the Tampa turf. Track and Fade, that was against on the Tapeta. I think maybe this horse is in the spot where it can run well.
Yeah, without a doubt. Terry does, the stats don't show it. This is a barn that has done well in the claiming ranks before, gets this one from Graham Notion, wanted to go back on the turf, but, that Tapeta run last time wasn't that bad. This is not a field of aces in here, and Irad sticks. I do like that.
Yeah. You went with the number 4, and I can understand me. You showed speed, finished 3rd and 4th respectively on the all-weather. I think this one's going.
This was my long shot play of the day. Was always on top on the turf. I'm going to leave this one on top. Still my long shot play because, as you said, I think we're going. We're bred for the stretch out. Not in for a tag as a Florida bred. Don't forget that also. And then comes out of a race where the winner came right back to win and looked good doing it. Tag her to catch on an aggressive ride.
And you'll notice that this one has moved from turf to Tapeta. Don't expect to get a lot of scratches in these races.
No.
They don't move. So pretty much it's going to stay formful in here. I mean, once we get done here, Pete Aiello will give you all those scratches and changes. But we don't get a lot of scratches anymore when we go from turf to the all-weather surface. With that said, let's go to race number 5, 7 furlongs, maiden special weight, fillies and mares. Now, these are 3-year-olds and upward this afternoon. Did they scratch both 3-year-olds? I'm not sure.
No, they scratched one of them.
One of the 3-year-olds?
The 1 and the 3 are out.
The 1 and the 3 are out of the race, and I know you put a ticket together for the late pick 5.
I did. It's $40. We're going to single here. This is an obvious, seemingly a lead pipe. 5-4, Doo-Wop Don. Ronnie alluded to the replay we'll be showing on that one. I lost a couple top picks. We lost a couple replays. Here's a deep spread in race 7. The top pick now is number 7, Phantom Vision. In race 8, we go 35. Frosty Brew will be up close throughout for 2 Hall of Famers, Shug and Javier. And then in the nightcap, we lost the replay, and I lost my top pick, Oxamock, but I'll come back with number 5, Winning Laugh at a nice price. Saez and Cassie again.
Yeah, so we'll see how those races play out. Now, getting back to this 5th race, Equal Pay. As you mentioned, your single right here is making her 4-year-old debut. First start since coming within the neck of breaking her maiden, going 7 furlongs. That was up at Saratoga. It's Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz Jr. It's a $475,000 daughter of Quality Road. Did you see this horse run up there?
Yeah, and I saw her run at Belmont, too, in June, where she was easily going to win and then just kind of had a little bad moment in deep stretch. Now, we've got to mention, as you see the race behind us, she didn't fire at all in the mud in her next start at Saratoga. So, you got to put that, in your mind a little bit. But, yeah, she came back and ran so big. It's Chad off the long layoff. He is so, so good. I always think with a guy, normally you kind of think, well, maybe they need a start. Chad is just so adept at getting them to fire. If he wants them to win, they're going to win off the break. And I think Equal Pay, muddy, no show and all, is going to be tough in here.
The number 5, Egyptian Bride, is a $400,000 4-year-old daughter of Pioneer and Isle, debuting for Brendan Walls. String of strong workouts showing up at Palm Meadows. I want to show you a stat. With his first-time starters, maiden special weight sprints on the dirt. He's 8 for 45, 18%, 42% in the money, and somehow a $5.07 return of investment. So there was a couple of bombers or one bomber in that perked that thing up there. But Brendan Walsh, I love the breeding on this horse. They jumped in and paid $400,000, but didn't start, I should say, as a 3-year-old.
Yeah, that's a little worrisome, but boy, that's an awesome stat because I think, we think of a guy like Brendan as a patient guy, a real true true horseman. And then you see that, and yeah, he can pop in a big way. I don't know, that bullet in the holster at Palm Meadows is pretty sharp on March 3rd. And again, if equal pay doesn't like the off-going, here's Egyptian Bride.
What'd you do with the 6 in here first to act?
Well, I mean, again, it's Shug and Javier. You got a Hall of Fame exacta there, a daughter of Curlin going 7. 7's a tough distance to debut at, but again, you showed the Brendan Walsh stat. Shug, 15% on debut. There's nothing wrong with that.
The number 4, Siempre Elegante, will face older horses at 7 furlongs. Track the pace, finished that workman-like 5th, going a mile into 16th here last out. This one is a $550,000 3-year-old daughter of American Pharaoh and leading Jack Louis Saiz. So really, not a big field, but a couple of really beautifully bred horses in there.
You just want to say her name, didn't
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Let's be honest. She cuts back from 2 two-turn races. She's going to have a lot of foundation. As I mentioned, a tricky distance, 7 furlongs.
Let's go to race number 6. This one, 6 furlongs, starter optional claimer, 4-year-olds and up, starting for $8,000 or less at the optional claimer price of $16,000. Going to scratch the number 2 Cammy Boy in here, and I know you had a replay. Well, Doo-Wop Don, who I've been chasing because I'm a big fan of Doo-Wop.
Yep.
Since they brought this horse around. If he wins, I'm not on it.
Well, that's not right. We're finally going to show you a replay today. We promised him. Here he is, not doing a whole heck of a lot of running early on here. He's the 8 horse, and he is behind a wall, but this was a weird race. He was actually my long shot that day, Ronnie, and they bet him off the board. I'm still not necessarily sure why, to be completely honest with you. And he's kind of, treading water here a little bit. I don't even really think he checks or anything. And, it's not the ideal trip, but he does not a lot going on. And then all of a sudden, okay, we're not doing any running at all. And then for whatever reason, I don't know if he remembered he's a racehorse or not, but he kicks it in late, and he's flying late. He actually gets second. Look at him re-break here in deep stretch, and he gets second. So now Kelsey Danner off the claim. We've talked about this move a lot. She does such a good job, 27% from a 15-horse sample. We're back on the main track. We know it's an off track. He's never had that in his career, but he's got a big race, big win showing 3 back here on the main track. I like Doo-Wop Don, and listen, Face of Victory is odds on the morning line. I agree with Pete's morning line here. He's clearly the horse to beat. I don't know, Ron. I'm not taking him at the free square that a lot of people think he might be.
Yeah, Doo-Wop Don, 10 for 12 in the money on the main track, and that was on the Tapeta we just showed you last time out. Number 4, as you mentioned, Face of Victory, stretching out to 3/4 after notching his 3rd victory in 4 races when he used his speed to defeat this level, going 5.5. Safi has Tyler returning on really consistent 8-year-old. So, you just look at this horse. He's the one to beat. I also used Doo-Wop Don on my ticket because of that last race, and then I went to the inside with number 1, Game Boy Benny, who will make the 3rd start of his current form cycle, hoping to finally turn the tables on his current nemesis, who's Face of Victory. Cheryl Weinbar, Jose Ortiz handling the rematch today. This horse hasn't been that bad, just hasn't figured out Face of Victory.
Absolutely not. He's been, he's been chasing him around. And one of the other reasons, Accor's on the outside with Paco. He pressed Face of Victory 3 back. Game Boy Benny knows him. Jose knows he's the horse to beat. I just wonder if maybe Face of Victory takes a little more pace pressure today.
Well, see how that race 6 plays out. Let's turn the page to race number 7. A little sticking here because of the wet weather we're dealing with. Race number 7, 5 furlongs, originally scheduled for the turf, now to move to the Tapeta. This is an allowance optional claimer, 4-year-olds and up. The optional claiming price, $62,500. Right now, scratch the 6, 9, 11, 13 and 14, and I bet you there won't be many more scratches after that. I kept Honey Pants on top of my ticket, who's making a 4-year-old debut at 5 furlongs on the Tapeta after a solid sprint campaign going longer up north. Clues that 2nd place finish in the 6.5 furlong, $100,000 Aluau at Woodbine. The horse has a touch of class. Christophe Clement, multiple stakes placed daughter of Cairo Prince, working well at Payson Park, and Christophe has done very well with keeping horses on the Tapeta.
Yeah, so you don't see the stats here because obviously this was a turf race. Christophe has done very, very well, as Ronnie alluded to, on the Tapeta. I moved this horse up into 5. She's my 5th pick in the pick 5, but it's that kind of race. It's a tough, difficult race. I don't think you can, I think you can be a little forgiving of her last start when she was in the parking lot and broke dead last. Draw a line through that. Look at her rest of her overall body of work. She fits very nicely with this kind of group.
And the horse you have on top is probably the one to beat in here, Phantom Vision. Turn from the layup to defeat a trio of next out winners. That was that 25 optional claimer. That was moved from the turf to the defeated for Mike Maker. We started very slow, Mike, but he seems to be winning races in bunches now. Paco Lopez in the saddle.
Yeah, I think she was my pick on the turf anyway, and now she gets all the best of it moving over the Tapeta because she ran huge last time off the break to gut it out on the win. Paco was aboard last time. He knows what to do. We're on a send mission. I don't know if anybody's running with her early.
The number 5, Jeannie B, the British bred, beating the nose in the Grade 2 Royal North last summer of Kyle Beat on the turf, returns looking to flaunt that back class on the all-weather today.
Yeah, I mean, I think you had a stat with Cassie on the turf, right? So she's a little bit of a wild card of an unknown on the Tapeta. But here's the other thing, too. She's probably been over this surface. I know her works at Woodbine, her last two, where you can see him on the turf there.
Right.
I'm sure she's been over this surface up there at Woodbine. Now, that doesn't mean it's the same down here at Gulfstream Park, but I'm sure she's had experience running over a all-weather Tapeta surface.
And what about the number 2 in here? And that's a Fuzi. Is that?
Down Fuzia, maybe? I don't know.
Number
Yes,
2.
it's Safi. She didn't really fire much of a shot on the Tapeta last time, but she was a good second to Miss Aramat, who we're going to see again on Saturday in the stakes. And when Miss Aramat's good, she is really good.
She's fast.
Yes, she is.
Let's go to race number 8 this afternoon. 7 furlongs allowance optional claimer. Phillies 3-year-olds, the optional tag, $75,000. Feature race of the afternoon. Jockey change on the number 1. Make that rider Arad Ortiz Jr. Junior Alvarado still not back, but he wasn't hurt that bad. Let's hope he gets back soon. A little bit of a sprained ankle. Yep. So I'm going to start it off in here. I don't know if this is the morning line favorite. It's not. Stellar Ride. Stepping up to face winners at 7 furlongs. After setting the pace and holding sway to defeat a trio of next out winners, going 3/4 mile for Safi. Second time Lasix. Blinkers, second time blinkers, Arad Ortiz Jr. I love these key races. That's where I went with just because, this one was flatted last time out.
Well, she got the predictable big, huge Safi second out move forward last time. And I didn't mind her. My worry was, Ronnie, going 7 especially, she probably shakes out as the inside speed. She's going to have to run hard every step of the way, but she clearly moved forward with Lasix last time. Now we get Irad, and it's not a bad thing, though. Now, watch how the track plays, obviously, but it's never typically a bad thing to be in front over and off track.
I know you wanted to show Doll Baby's last performance, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, I've picked against her a little bit, but that might be a little hard-headed. She was awesome. A daughter, a groupie doll. We all know and love her out of a tap, by Tap It out of the groupie doll. And she was so good last time, and they bet her, and she just controlled. She's fast, and this goes back to my point with Stellar Ride. And one of the reasons I didn't pick either of them is because there's going to be some hitting on the front end here, I think. And both of these gals are facing winners now. Also, for Doll Baby, it is hard to win on debut going 7 furlongs, and she blasted this field. She did it the right way. Maybe she got a little late here, but I thought it was a very, very professional debut. And now she's outside with other speeds who are inside. That's a good thing. I just thought maybe facing winners at a short number, maybe she's a little vulnerable. Exciting horse, though, to follow.
Yeah, you made a great point, but winning at 7 furlongs is not an easy thing to do, so that horse was pretty impressive. You did go with the number 3 horse, Frosty Brew, who's making a 3-year-old debut with Lasix.
Shug. It's Javier. We've said that a lot today. The Hall of Famers could have a good day, and she's not going to be on the lead in here. I know she dueled early at Aqueduct and tired behind Radio Days, another one of Shug's stars, 3-year-olds. But now we had Lasix. Like I said, she's not going to be on the lead. Look at that debut win. It was very, very slow. Don't get me wrong, but that's the trip I'm envisioning today. She settles a little bit. Just maybe Stellar Ride and Doll Baby get a little hot and bothered early and often. Frosty Brew, Lasix going on, ready as a bigger, stronger, faster 3-year-old.
Daughter of Frosted, Shug McGee. You always have to give a second look till you find him. It's really, really good. So if you can find him and get a good price, it's definitely you should use
You can find him.
Yep. That race number 9 this afternoon. This is the one that was also a 7.5 on the turf. Now will be mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta. These are maiden optional claimers, Phillies 3-year-olds, and certainly a work in progress. Just before we came on, we did get one more scratch in here of Kelsey Shot. 2 was out earlier on. I know that was your long shot or your best bet or something today.
Yeah, I had the 2 on top, then I scratched into the 4, and she's not playing either. So
how'd you play it out here?
You know, the old third pick's the charm with winning laugh here. I move up to 5, winning laugh. It's Cassie, it's Luis. We're second off a mini break. We're second time Lasix. The winner last time was good. I think this is a real scramble now, Ron.
Yeah, definitely. My long shot, I kept it up there. Hard Rock Warriors, the daughter of Hard Spun. I just thought when she stretched out around 2 turns on the on the turf, maybe she'd be able to spring a little bit of an upset for Javier Castellano. Really respect the connections, Mike Trombetta. Javier, we mentioned his name a lot today. He looks like he's going to have a pretty good day if he can. So we'll see how it plays out. But as Brian mentioned, just a wide open affair. You know, we're going to have to go back and revisit that race because, as we said, we found out they were off the turf right before we came on the air. So that's how we see the 9-race card. We'll let you know throughout the afternoon when things change. And we're not done, right?
No, I'm just looking at the sun popping out here. Welcome to South Florida.
Yeah, so we got a lightning round in here, and of course, I'll kick it off here, and you can take it over. Stronach 5 back on Friday, and here's the sequence. So we got 2 from Gulfstream Park.
There we go. As I said, as Pete likes to say, Overlay City, a $1 wager, the super low takeout, and we got them all involved here. Laurel, Santa Anita, Gulfstream, and GG, and we'll close it right down here on race 9.
Yeah, about 5:08 p.m. It starts 4:24, and it's over. What's that? A little over a half hour.
Yeah, 12% takeout is just phenomenal for the bettors.
And it's quick, bang, 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 bang. So we'll see how that plays out. You know, this is probably people don't realize this is a good thing. What we're going to show them next.
Yeah, free PPs it's free. Download now at xbtv.com, and we've got free PPs for all the first venues and. What a perfect way to play the Stronach 5, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, you go get the free PPs, you get in, and you win like $3,000, which it seems to pay every week. So
that's how it works. Just win $3,000.
And we have double stakes action on Saturday, right?
Yeah, we've got a good one. And the return of obligatory. The Hurricane Birdie compact field and 4 Graces really moved forward last time. And they're going to, deserving heavy, co-favorites. Obligatory, if you're not familiar, was a really sharp 3-year-old filly for Bill Mott and Juddmont Farm. And she could be a real player in the division now as a 4-year-old.
Yeah, she's grade 1 stakes play. She's a grade 2 winner sprinting at 7 furlongs. Of course, that'll be 6 1/2 furlongs. And got a real great thing going on up at our sister track in Pimlico or the Preakness area.
Yeah, you can check this out. Go to the website here, Voting for Preakness Art by students from the Maryland Institute College of Art. There it is there. Check out the Preakness website for a little more information. It's, you can vote, and the winner gets a nice little prize and a lot of good artwork there.
Yeah, and it just helps out the students. We want to get everybody that we can interested in the game, so go on there. And, of course, need we say it's absolutely free and also a lot of fun.
Yeah, without a doubt. So we're going to send it up to track announcer Pete Aiello for the changes and the conditions. It's a work in progress, as we kind of said. Just make sure you're in the loop there, and looking forward to getting started.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place.
We back.
Northern Dancer, winner of the Florida Derby.
Yeah.
All the history, all these great horses, trainers, jockeys.
It is Barbaro to the final furlong. He is a neck in front. Barbaro wins!
It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Sunday silence surges to the front.
First day, opening day of the championship, I was kind of starstruck. You're watching LeBron James, and then next thing you know, you're playing basketball against him. That's how I felt when I'm riding with Donnie V, riding with Irad, Luis.
So many famous people come, Post Malone, Pharrell, J-Lo was there. It's epic.
The weather is beautiful. The facility is phenomenal.
It's all about Knicks Go. Knicks Go makes it 4 in a row.
It's one of the most beautiful tracks in the country, surrounded by some of the greatest horses and riders. It's amazing.
I'd always had a really deep love of animals. When I started riding, I felt that instant connection. It was this horse, Siren, that she was a thoroughbred, she'd been on the racetrack. It really shaped me growing up because I had to learn how to be confident, but I also had to be compassionate. And she really was that first love I had of a horse.